With all the hype surrounding the Fujifilm X100V right now, I feel like this camera is being overlooked. I've been using the Fuji X-E4 for quite a while now. Paired with the 27mm 2.8 pancake lens, this is one of the best everyday carry cameras out there. I always said that I'd love to have a Fuji as my fun weekend camera. People always raved about the colors and the film simulations. The reason why I was drawn towards this camera was because I wanted a compact everyday camera that I could use to capture the city, life, and memories of people important to me. This camera has a really great feature set, but to me, the Fujis have never been about performance and specs. The beautiful thing about Fuji is that they give you the same sensor in all of their bodies, so you're not lacking in image quality, and the choice comes down to which body you prefer, which I absolutely love. The X-E4 is the smallest form factor in the lineup, and because of that, it's easy to carry or put in a bag without worrying about size and weight. And it's that small and inconspicuous form factor that makes this camera so great. It's so powerful in this tiny body, allowing you to capture candid moments without anyone paying you any mind. You can get street shots you wouldn't otherwise be able to get because you're not drawing any attention to yourself. No one is going to approach you and say you can't shoot here, because this camera doesn't look professional or obnoxious in any way. Speaking of looks, this camera is gorgeous. Just like the rest of Fuji's X line, it embodies a film camera, with its physical dials, rangefinder appearance, and the aperture ring. Quite a few of my friends have thought that I was carrying a film camera on me, and I know people who pass by me in the street would think the same. Because of those dials, this camera makes you slow down, forcing you to think about your settings and what you want out of a shot. On my Sony bodies, I am so proficient with the shutter and aperture dials, I can get my exposure right in my sleep. But with the Fuji, having to turn the top dial for my shutter, turn the aperture ring on the lens, and adjust my ISO with the press of a button, it really makes you feel more connected to the shot that you're taking. You might feel like that's inefficient and too slow, but to me, the Fujis are not about efficiency. They are about slowing down, appreciating the process, and taking photos that you feel connected with. The one spec I want to talk about is the sensor. The X-Trans 4 sensor produces beautiful colors, and I found it to have pretty great dynamic range, recovering quite a bit in post. At 26 megapixels, it's more than enough for the purpose it serves. The newer 40 megapixel sensor on the new flagship bodies kind of feels like overkill on a camera that's essentially an APS-C point and shoot. Those newer sensors also seem to perform a little worse in low light due to the higher resolution. Speaking of low light performance, that is my one gripe with this setup. Obviously, APS-C size sensors are not going to perform as well as full-frame sensors, but especially paired with the 27mm f2.8, this setup does not do great in low light, because the full-frame equivalent would be a 41mm f4.3, which is not an ideal low light shooting lens. So in my experience, especially with the 27mm 2.8, this is more of a daylight shooting lens. This being an interchangeable lens camera, of course you could upgrade to a different lens like the 35 f1.4 and that will help in those low light situations, but if you want to have the small, nice pancake size form factor, you are limited by that lens and this setup. The Fuji X100V has been one of my favorite cameras of all time, and I've captured so many precious moments with it. These days, cameras are getting so good, you really can't go wrong with any of them. The differentiating factor for me then starts to become whether or not I bring that camera with me. If it's small and light and it's an enjoyable experience to use, of course I'm going to use it more often. The X100V with the 27mm kit comes in around $1,000, which I think is fair if not a little underpriced, because this thing punches out of its price range. I used to take a backpack full of 30 pounds or more of gear with a full frame setup and a couple full frame lenses, and now I just can't be bothered to do that. But with the Fuji, I bring it everywhere I go, and that's what matters, because the best camera you have is the one that you have on you.